here's a book entitled Our Descent from Israel, Proved by Cumulative Evidence. This is by Hugh B. Colquhoun. If I mispronounce it, I'm sorry. Y'all smarter than me, so y'all pronounce his name. This book was published in 1931. Let's go inside the book and let's take a look. We're going to go to page 11. All right, page 11, we're on section 4. Look at number 1, the highlighted area there. The 10 tribes became known to the ancient Greeks, Persians, and Romans as Sakai and Sakai. For a time, they clustered around the shores of the Black Sea. Scythians and Sakai became interchangeable terms being given to the same people. Notice it says the 10 tribes. That's what I want y'all to see. The 10 tribes, meaning the 10 tribes of Israel. Let's go down. I'm going to number 6. Albinus said, this is a scholar, the Saxons were descended from the ancient Sakai of Asia, and in the process of time, they came to be called Saxons. Now, this term Saxons means sons of Isaac. Sons of Isaac. Number 7. Ptolemy mentions a Scythian people sprung from the Sakai by the name of Saxons. British history, traced from Egypt and Palestine. Roberts, page 105. Quoting Sharon Turner. Number 8. The self-liberated 10 tribes, meaning 10 tribes of Israel, after leaving Media, Persian Media under Cyrus, became subsequently known as the Scythians. See that? Either from occupying a region so-called or else to signify that they were wanderers, which is the import of the name. Now, why am I reading this about Scythians? This is why. All right, this is why. When you go to the book of Colossians, chapter 3, verse 11, the Apostle Paul writes, where there is neither Greek nor Jew, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but Christ is all and in all. So what have we learned about the Scythians? The Scythians were the 10 tribes of Israel, just as the Greek was. See, you black Christians, you have not studied the Bible, you have not studied history, but you want to come up against the Israelites and say that we're wrong. Don't let us have to embarrass you. Our prayer is that you repent and come join us. All right, I'm on page 193, Jews and Greeks. There are 6 places in the New Testament, RV Revised Version, where Jews are contrasted with Hellenes or Greeks. In the first, we see that the Jews evidently knew that multitudes of the so-called Greeks at that time were really dispersed Israelites. Do y'all see that? Dispersed Israelites, meaning scattered Israelites. John chapter 7, verse 35 is proof. Now look, let's read on. And there were certain Greeks among them that came up to worship at the feast, Passover. The same came therefore to Philip, which was of Bethsaida of Galilee, and desired him, saying, Sir, we would see Jesus. John 7, verse 20 and 21. The Greeks here mentioned are evidently not Greeks ethnologically, but only politically. Wow. So now let's take a look at Galatians chapter 3, verse 28. There is neither Jew nor Greek. There is neither bond nor free. There is neither male nor female. For ye are all one in Christ Jesus. So now we've just proven that the Greeks, they are also the Israelites. Politically, they were the Israelites. All right. Following Greek customs, language, gods and goddesses. That's why he called them Greeks. And that bottom part, for ye are all one in Christ Jesus, he was unifying the 12 tribes of Israel again. That's what Paul was doing, uniting the 12 tribes of Israel again. All right, I'm back to the book, Our Descent from Israel Proved. I'm on page 193 again, where it says Galatians. St. Paul writes as though the Galatians were Jews and Gentiles at one and the same time, writes a scholarly commentator. But the difficulty vanishes when we realize that the Galatians, etc., addressed in the epistles were mostly those who had known the law, half Jews as it were in religion and half Gentiles at the same time. In other words, they were the dispersed among the Gentiles or Israelites. See what it's saying? The Galatians were Israelites. Zondervan Compact Bible Dictionary. We're going to look up the word Hellene or Hellenist. Hellenists, Jews who made Greek their tongue, and with it often adopted Greek ideas and practices, meaning that these Hellenists were Jews that spoke Greek and they adopted Greek ideas and practices, like politically and religiously. The image of the black in Western art, from the pharaohs to the fall of the Roman Empire. Edited by David Byman, Henry Louis Gates, Jr. All right, let's take a look inside the book. All right, I'm at plate 234 on page 194. All right, notice what it says, landscape. This is for plate 234. Landscape of the Upper Nile with two black hunters, detail of the mosaic of the Nile in flood. Let's pull back. What do y'all see about these two black hunters along the Nile? Are they dressed as the typical way the media portrays Africans? Or are they dressed as Greeks, wearing togas? They're dressed as Greeks, wearing togas, as you can see. Okay. I want y'all to notice these black men are dressed as Greeks. Let's go to the next one. Let's take a look here. Look at the hair, look at the lips, look at the nose. This is plate 237. I have it underlined. Let's see what it says about plate 237. All right. A terracotta mask in Houston represents a bearded middle-aged Negro of a less pronounced type, and a strongly individualized portrait of a Negro also in Houston, dating from the late 3rd or the 2nd century BC. The craftsman has turned the head to one side, recalling H. Hoffman has suggested the gesture of a Hellenistic ruler portrait. You see that? Hellenistic ruler portrait. Black. Not a slave, a ruler. Black. And don't worry, we looking up Hellenists too. All right, let's get some more. Plate 245, earrings in the form of Negro heads. Notice what it says, notice what it says. Hellenistic period. These are Greek-speaking Jews. They made earrings out of these Greek-speaking Jews. See? 245 right there. Let me zoom in case y'all can't see. Y'all see that? Greek-speaking Jews. Hellenist period. Now I went to this one here. They show you this one. Look at the hair. Look at the nose, the lips. That's plate 246. Plate 246. Head of a Negro which may have adorned a pen. Hellenistic period. Greek-speaking Jews. Plate 253 to 255. Statuette of a young musician from Chalon-sur-Saône, Hellenistic period. Greek-speaking Jew period. Let's take a look. Look at the hair. Look at the nose. Look at the lips. This is a black child. Side view. Get a white boy out of this. (256 to 58). Statue of a young Negro, perhaps a musician, Hellenistic period. This is the period of the Greek-speaking Jews. Look at the hair, look at the nose, look at the lips. Look at the hair. See, they tried to bust the nose off. Plate 259, statue of a young orator from Chalon-sur-Saône, Hellenistic period. Plate 259. 259 is right here. Look at that. Young black boy, dressed in a Greek toga. Plate 260, statuette of a young athlete, Hellenistic period. That's this one here. Look at the hair. Look at the nose. Look at the lips. He's an athlete. They dressed naked. You can read about that in the book of Maccabees. See that? Plate 260. Plate 261, statuette of a captive or a slave, Hellenistic period. That's this one here. Look at the nose, look at the lips, look at the hair. Plate 261. All right, here's the revised and expanded Holman Illustrated Bible Dictionary. Now I'm going to look up the word black and see what the scholars, so-called scholars, say about the word black. All right, let's take a look. Black often used to denote the color of physical objects. Hair, Leviticus 13, verse 31 to 37. Song of Solomon, chapter 5, verse 11. But look at this. Let me zoom in on that word. Do y'all see that word there? Underlined in red? Skin. Job 30, verse 30, Song of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 5 to 6, and Lamentations 4, verse 8. Now, the reason I wanted this is because I'd say 99.9% of Christians say black ain't in the Bible when it comes to skin. And they often compare and say it's only figurative. Let's read down. The sky is a sign of rain, and animals. Black is also used figuratively to describe mourning. That's what they always run to. See, it's figurative about mourning. Listen, it's a twofold meaning. Color and mourning. Twofold meanings. A visionless day. Okay? Now let's go into a book called The Catacombs and see how our ancestors denoted skin or portrayed skin. The Catacombs, Life and Death in Early Christianity by James Stevenson. Now this word catacombs was made up of two words. There originally were tombs. Well, let's go inside the book and see what it says. I'll read the highlighted area. A Christian underground burial place. Next highlighted area. The most notable catacombs are those in the The most notable catacombs are those in the immediate vicinity of Rome. But important ones are to be found at Naples, at Syracuse, and other places in Sicily, in Malta, and in North Africa, and in the east of Emesa in Syria. In meaning, the word catacomb has nothing to do with burial places. The early Christians called these coemeteria, places of repose, and this name persisted among them, being particularly used of burial places above ground. So the word itself, catacombs, has nothing to do with burial places, but that is the term that was put on burial places. All right, and these burial places were used as meeting places and places of escape from Rome. Rome and the catacombs in its vicinity. I want you to look at these underground tombs, and they were used as meeting places and places of escape. These were some of the entrances and exits. Let me try to focus it. Number 4, entrance, Malta, entrance to the catacomb at Tad-Dir, Rabat. The process of tunneling into a hillside is well illustrated here. A church was built at the entrance, but this has long since disappeared, meaning was destroyed. When they say disappeared, that means destroyed. Look at the staircase. You got to go down. Inside these tombs and places of meetings were drawings that they had of themselves and the forefathers. Now, here's a church. But inside the church, when you go down through the ground, there are burial grounds underneath it. And these catacombs extend for miles. Peter and Marcellinus, Christ enthroned between Saints Peter and Paul, early 5th century, possibly, maybe. That's why they got the question mark. Let's look at Christ enthroned between Peter and Paul. That's Christ in the center, Peter on one side, and the Apostle Paul on the other. What color are they? Black. Look at their faces, their hands compared to the wall, compared to the clothing. Beneath them, you have disciples. Okay? with a lamb in the center. This series of contiguous paintings is most comprehensive. They are: upper row, Moses striking the rock, Jesus multiplying the loaves, Epiphany, 3 Orontes, Noah, the raising of Lazarus. Lower row, Daniel, Tobias with his fish and the angel, the healing of the paralytic Job. Now, what's most interesting here to me is Tobias with the fish and the angel in the catacombs, because Christians say that the Apocrypha is not canon. Don't read it. But the forefathers painted images of it. Let's look. Excuse me. All right, there's Christ multiplying the loaves. Christ is black. The disciples are black. I want you to look very good. Here's Tobias with the fish and the angel talking to him. Black. Black Tobias, black angel. There's Daniel in the lion's den, black. There's Moses striking the rock, right there. There's Job. Here's the raising of Lazarus. Look at Christ, black. 49, Via Latina, Samson and the lion. Let's take a look at Samson and the lion. Samson is black, fighting the lion. Black Samson. They don't teach us this in Sunday school. Look at this. 56, Priscilla. The story of Susanna. That's also in the Apocrypha. On the right, the elders lay their hands on Susanna's head. Let's see. There's Susanna, black. Here's the elders, 2 black elders with their hand on Susanna's head. But the Christians say that the Apocrypha is not canon. Don't read it. But our forefathers painted images of them as black men and women. 59, Jacob blessing Ephraim and Manasseh, the sons of Joseph. Y'all see that? You can see the hair. They changed the hair. They took the color away. Do you see that? This is what white people do. They'll open to the public these images, these catacombs that they've touched up. But there were so many. That's why they say some of the catacombs are not public accessible, because the images are still black. And that's for the elite scholars to go inside, not for Negroes. The denial of Peter. Y'all remember when Peter denied Christ 3 times? Let's take a look. Look at Peter, black, but look at his hands. They've been touched up. Why don't his hands match his face? His hands were touched up already. Look at the Jews accusing him. Their faces have been touched already, whitewashed. But they left Peter's face black. And there's the cock that crowed 3 times. Or the rooster, the rooster that crowed 3 times. Peter is black. Picture 83. Coimaterium Maius, Christ as judge. Note the boxes of books. There's Christ, and these are the boxes of books. And it says, and the books were open. Look at Christ, black. Black, 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 blackety black. Picture 88, group of apostles or initiates. Let's take a look. Black men, the apostles. Do y'all see that? Black. Look at their faces and compare it to their clothes and the back wall. Black. Now this catacomb, picture 99, is called Via Latina, plan of the catacomb. I want you to look at the intricate details of these underground places that our forefathers had built to hide from Roman emperors like Diocletian. You'll see that? Look at this Syracuse, the catacomb area. These catacombs had different names. Y'all see that? See how intricate underground was that they built? You know, this took years. And a lot of people took part in this. A lot of Israelites. And in case somebody tries to be stupid and say that these weren't the Jews, look outside this catacomb. 7-branch menorah. These were the entrances to some of them. See that? Number 125, Malta Talbistra, one of the entrances to the catacomb. 126, entrance to a country catacomb. Look at this one. That's an entrance. The horizon history of Africa. Now I want to show you, because I'm sure the question will come up. How come Christ and the people of the Bible are portrayed on walls during old days, ancient times, as black? What happened? What happened in Africa? How did it get from black to white? Well, it's not a long story, but it is a long story. But what I'll do is I'll go in brief and show you what happened. All right, page 114, regarding Christianity in Africa still. By the 3rd and 4th centuries, when the faith had spread throughout the country, the Maghreb, with its many towns, contained 600 bishops, more than Gaul and Egypt combined, and produced such great church fathers as Tertullian, Cyprian, and Augustine. These are 3 of the guys that these Jew 3 clowns want to mention. This was all white supremacists, coons. Christian missionaries attempted to convert the Jewish minority, some of whom dated back to the Phoenician settlement and others to the destruction of the temple in Jerusalem in AD 70. Showing you that you had black Jews in Africa who came from 70 AD in Africa, proving they fled from Jerusalem deeper into Africa. The precise location of the mines from which the Sudan kingdoms obtained their gold. The letter, originally written in Latin, provides an engaging account of life in the oasis and in the land of the blacks farther south. There are many Jews who lead a good life here, for they are under the protection of the several rulers, each of whom defends his own clients. We were talking about in Africa, in the Sudan. Christianization was impressed with a similar lack of fervor in the Congo, whereas both the Portuguese and Alfonso, the king of the Congo, had initially taken the work of converting the kingdom into a westernized Christian state very seriously. See, what does it mean, westernized Christian state? White supremacy. In the same year, he wrote to the king asking him to send neither merchants nor wares, only priests and people to teach in schools, and no other goods but wine and flour for the Holy Sacrament, for Roman Catholicism. The Portuguese paid no heed. In 1540, missionary work was resumed with the arrival of 3 Jesuit priests and a teacher. About 2,000 people were baptized within the first 4 months. 3 churches were built at Mbanza, Congo, which was now renamed San Salvador, and schools were also established. So this westernized crap of white supremacy was pushed throughout Africa. All right, pay close attention to this. Meeting at the Berlin residence of Chancellor Otto von Bismarck in 1884, the foreign ministers of 14 European powers and the United States established ground rules for the future exploitation of the Dark Continent, meaning Africa. Africans were not invited or made privy to their decisions. You see that? Congo Free State, conceived as a neutral zone to be run by an international association in interest of bringing science, civilization, and Christianity to the indigents, meaning indigenous people, received the Berlin Conference's blessings. Belgium's King Leopold left, soon took control, reaping fabulous personal profits through the sale of land and development rights. Scandalously little was reinvested in schools like that shown above. You black Christians better shut the hell up and stay the hell away from the Israelites. We're going to embarrass the hell out of you, you evil black Jew 3 Christians. Africa being an accurate description of the regions of Egypt, Barbary, Libya, and Bilderberg, the land of Negroes, Guinea, Ethiopia, and the Abyssinians. Abyssinia, that's Ethiopia. All right. This was published in 1670. Africa being an accurate description of the regions of Egypt, Barbary, Libya, and Bilderberg, the land of Negroes, Guinea, Ethiopia, and the Abyssinians. That's Ethiopia. Published in 1670. Let's go in. All right. I'm on page 34. That's the original page, but in this book it's on 31. All right. I'm going to start here. Many Jews also are scattered over this region, some natives boasting themselves of Abraham's seed. It's talking about Africa. See the title, Africa. Many Jews also are scattered over this region. What region? Africa. Some natives boasting themselves of Abraham's seed, inhabiting both sides the river Niger, or Niger. Others are Asian strangers who fled thither either from the desolation of Jerusalem by Vespasian at 70 AD, or from Judea, wasted and depopulated by the Romans, Persians, Saracens, that's Muslims, and Christians, or else such as came out of Europe, whence they were banished. So it's referring to those Jews, those black Jews that were banished, those Jews that were keeping the commandments that were banished. Not all the blacks, but the ones keeping the commandments. Out of some, they were banished from where? Out of some parts of Italy in the year 1342, out of Spain in the year 1462, out of the Low Countries, that's the Netherlands, in 1350, out of France in 1403, out of England in 1422. These all differ in habit and are divided into several tribes, having no dominion, though both wealthy and numerous, but despised of all nations, and so abominated by the Turks that they are not admitted to be Mohammedans unless first baptized. and then no otherwise made use of than to receive their customs and gather in their taxes.